Hey, 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 I'm Angie Rose with Angie Rose Health Coaching, and I'm here today with your Monday Mojo, which is our motivational video of the week to help you with your healthy lifestyle and healthy living. So today the topic is actually called 10 Tips for a Healthier Heart, or 10 Ways to Use Food to Help Your Heart. You can pick the topic name. It all is the same, right? It's all the same. So if you don't know who I am, I own Angie Rose Health Coaching here in Grand Island, Nebraska. And every week I do hop on just to motivate you guys. You know, I know here in Grand Island, the weather has been beautiful the last few days, and it is just going to be a nice week. And you know what? It just makes everything better when it's nice, as far as I'm concerned. So this month in February is Heart Health Month. So here in the office, we're doing some heart health challenges. We're talking a little bit every Monday, which last Monday I was not on because I was sick and I was actually home. That hasn't happened in a long time, but was homesick for 3 days. So here we're back, but we've been doing the heart health challenge, physical activity challenge here in the office. But today specifically, I want to share with you a list that really is going to give you 10 things that you can do when you're eating to really be thinking about your heart health. I want you to really ponder, if you will, how often you actually think about your heart with the foods that you're choosing. Most people don't even think twice when it comes to that wonderful muscle that keeps our heart beating, keeps so many systems going. As soon as your heart stops beating, we are no more. So the reality of it is, it's a pretty important muscle. We think about growing our biceps, shrinking our waist. We think about, rounding our butt up. I don't know, you tell me. We think about all the other muscles in the body, but a lot of times we're just not thinking about the heart. And the truth of the matter is, food plays a really big role in how healthy your heart is going to be, with the vessels that are in it, with the arteries that are in it, how it pumps our blood, how it beats, how strong it is, or how weak it is, because our vessels are plugged with plaque and gunk and cholesterol and all the wrong stuff. All right, so I hope today this helps. I am all about a list. If I can make things a little bit easier and just really cut to the chase and not talk about it, it does help a lot. So what we're going to do today is I just want to get right to the tips, and you're going to see today that they aren't necessarily focused on deprivation or perfection. Instead, it's all about making sure we're choosing healthy, delicious food that is going to actually benefit our heart, okay? So the first thing we want to do, number one, is we want to learn how to balance calories with our activity, okay? Hi, Bobby. How are you? I haven't seen you pop on, so I'm glad you're here. So, don't eat more food than you can burn off. It's a very simple thing, but most of us don't really know how many calories we're consuming in a day. We don't, and I'm not talking about deprivation, like cutting everything out and cutting down to 500 calorie day diet. That's not what I'm talking about here. What I'm talking about is understanding we need to burn just about as many as we're eating, or just a little bit less, in order to not gain weight. The more weight we have on the body, the harder our heart has to work to do its job. So making sure we're getting activity in to balance out the calorie intake. Number two is to make sure you eat a variety of fruits and vegetables. I want you to choose a lot of color. The more color we have, the more health benefits we're going to get. But you know what? Fruits and vegetables are probably one of the most neglected food groups that I hear from people and clients when they're coming in the door, that they're not getting these things in regularly, and it's not a regular part of their diet. So you have heard probably eat the rainbow. I always teach my clients this, and I'm not talking about Skittles, is what I usually tell them. I'm talking about eating the rainbow and eating lots of different colors for lots of different fiber, lots of different vitamins, lots of different minerals, antioxidants, but it is so good and heart healthy. Okay, so that's number two. Number three, when you eat grains. So when I'm saying grains, this includes rice, It includes pasta and cereal and crackers and bread and junk food. All the grains, even if they're not an actual whole grain when we consume them, most of us eat it very highly processed. So I really want you thinking about your grains becoming whole grain versus white bleached flour. Okay? So when I say that, I'm meaning brown rice. I'm meaning quinoa, millet, couscous, all those good grains. Doing things like multi-grain, stone ground, whole wheat bread, all those kinds of things that are heavier and denser. That good fiber is great for our health, as well as the vitamins and minerals in it. Number 4 is to include healthy protein sources into your diet. Okay, this is probably the second thing that I hear the most out of my clients that they do not get enough of, which is protein at every meal. Okay, our heart is a muscle. What builds muscle? When we're building muscle, how many times do you hear about people that are bodybuilding, that are exercising, that are trying to get stronger? The main goal is to get more protein in. And truthfully, there are studies that have shown that most people get their food for the day, 16% or less of their food is actual protein. Most of it's carbs, white processed carbs, and junk. Okay, so that is it. If that's one thing you're not getting enough in, get good whole protein in. Number 5 is use liquid, non-tropical plant oils like avocado oil and olive oil. Very, very heart healthy, you guys. Very, very heart healthy. Okay, so get away from vegetable oil, canola oil. I do like a good coconut oil, but that's personal. And I do think that it is healthy for you. But for heart health, we're talking things like avocado and olive because they are monounsaturated fats that are going to be really good for cholesterol and help thin out the blood and help that heart be able to pump that through really, really well. Number 6, eat minimally processed foods. Focus on real whole foods versus highly processed, gonna be here when the zombie apocalypse happens. Not that it will, but that's just the way I like to describe it, is if the zombie apocalypse happens and I know that I'm gonna find a store somewhere, I know the foods that are still gonna probably be edible, doesn't mean they're healthy, but they probably don't have no rot, mold, or anything else because they're highly processed and they're sitting in a package on a shelf and you're thanking God you found them, okay? But zombie apocalypse isn't here, so that doesn't give you a reason to eat them, okay? Number 7, avoid added sugars. Most of us eat so many things that have so much extra sugar in them. It's not like you're just dumping sugar, most of you, on your food, but it's extra added calories that are empty calories that actually drain you, make you more tired, and they're linked with weight gain. We know that extra sugar is weight gain, okay? Number 8, cut back on salt. Okay, this is good for your heart because according to the FDA, 90% of us eat too much sodium. We should be aiming for less than 1 teaspoon a day. That is almost laughable when you hear about that. That only 1 teaspoon a day or less is the 2,300 milligrams, which I don't have a problem with it because I don't eat a ton of salt. But when you think about most of the foods that people are consuming, pre-packaged, pre-canned, pre-frozen, there is probably in less than 1 serving of one of those things, the daily sodium. This is why we come back to going whole foods, real food. If it can rot in a few days, if it can go bad, you know what? Those are the things we need to be eating, okay? Number 9 is to limit alcohol or avoid it completely. Now, for me to sit here and tell you what limit means for you really is, different for every person. There are studies out there. I don't have the numbers and I'm not going to pretend that I do, but alcohol is empty calories. It's empty sugar. And for a lot of people, it is not usually just 1 or 2 drinks a week. Okay. So really be thinking about that. And number 10, put this list on repeat for all your meals and all your snacks. The reality of it is, guys, you have way more control in your hands and your mind, as well as your shopping lists, on what you can put in your body and what you should not be putting in your body. Okay, you're the one that buys your groceries most of the time, or you're the one that's putting your hand to your mouth and eating the foods that you're choosing to eat. You know what? Secure your health, work on your health, take care of your heart. Just like anything, if you don't lift weights or keep building a muscle and keeping it strong, at some point it becomes weak. And then it just shrinks and it doesn't work properly or work as well as it would if it was in full strength. You know what? As we age, our heart, if we're not working it and taking care of it, can get weaker and weaker, and it can become a problem. Okay? So I just want you to think about today. Out of those 10 things, if there's one thing that you could start today to do better, let me know below. Maybe it's eating more fruits and vegetables. Maybe it's going more whole grain. Maybe it's cutting back on salt or cutting back on sugar. I would even add, and this isn't on the list, but drink more water. Drink more water. That is one of the best things as well that you can do for every cell in your body, which affects every muscle and so on. So I hope that you guys have an amazing week this week. If you're in Grand Island, Nebraska, enjoy the week. Get your butt out for a walk this week, as it's going to be 60, I think, tomorrow and 60 again on Wednesday. And exercise absolutely does play a really good role for heart health. All right. Well, that is what I have for you guys this week. Stay tuned for next week, and we will see you then. Bye.